Good morning, class. Welcome to St. Peter School. This is our science class, and this is our fourth class. In last class, we studied about what are the types of what are the types of adaptation done by the plants. Okay, so we are covered up to the topic aquatic plants. So now today we are going to discuss about the grassland plants. What type of adaptation done by the grassland plants? So first point I have given you here: bushes and grasses of diverse types are seen in grasslands. Okay, so which type of what type of characteristics they are in a bushes and in they are in the grasses form. Okay, so bushes form helps like bushes form, it means like it is in a number of quantity. Okay, so this is the main adaptation done by them. It is in a bulk quantity. Bushes and grasses of diverse types are seen in grasslands area. In grasslands area, this type of grasses type of plants are found. Vast meadows are found in plains and hilly areas. Like vast meadows means you can see the plantation done in and done like equal type of crop production done in a specific area, that is called vast meadows. Like or the like in hilly areas, what they have what why they are grown on hilly areas, so that the plants cannot stay in their roots. Like for example, tea. Tea production is always done on the hilly areas. They are in a bushes form, but why they are done on hilly areas? Because so that the water should not stop at the root of the plants. They fall down, the water easily fall down, and the plants are the grasses are there is no problem with the grasses the roots. Okay, so and then now the third point is given: soil erosion. Soil erosion is prevented by the fibrous root of the grass. Okay, so why these grasslands are also grown? Because they have a very fibrous root, so they help in binding the soil. Okay, so given soil, the soil erosion is also prevented by the fibrous root of the grasses. So these all are adaptation done by the grassland plants, so that they can that's on that is the reason they are not cut it. They are grown in a bulk area, so that soil erosion can be prevented. Okay. Now the fourth point, what you will see, that very tall grasses are seen in equatorial region. Yes, we all have heard about this, that very tall grasses are seen in equatorial region. Various types of large animals take shelter in these grasses. So what happens, the large animals take a shelter in these like long grasses area, and this helps them by the cutting. Because might be we are we are scared of cutting the grasses, because might be there are big animals present inside the grasses. So this all adaptation done by the nature to save that tall grasses. Okay, various types of large animals take shelter in this grass. Last point, you will see that very short grass grown in cold region. Also smaller animals like rabbits are seen in these grasses. Okay, some short grasses are also found, but it has a very thick fibrous roots, so it has in soil roots, so they are not cut it. And the what happens, the animals like rabbits are also take shelter in this type of grasses. Now here I have given you some images of the grassland. Okay, so grassland plant grow from the bottom, are resistant to the grazing and fire. Okay, so what actually is trying to say, that it is a very it's a big some I'm talking about the small grasses. Like small grasses, what happens, when the animals graze in the field, what happens, a tall grasses has been eaten, but the small grasses are remain on the land. Okay, dispersal, dispersal cannot be easily done by this short grasses, because like air always flow. So top seeds are dispersed, but the grasses which is very bottom to the land, which is very closest to the land, is not their seeds are very safe, because air blows more on the top, and it blows near the land, it blows less. So wind dispersal is not done with the short grasses. For example, lush perennial grasses, few scattered trees. You can search for the images of lush perennial grasses. This is, you can see this small green grasses. These all are known as the lush perennial grasses. Okay, so the same point here given, I have given you the grassland plants grow from the bottom, are resistant to the grazing and fire. They cannot be easily grazed. They are not easily eaten by the animals because they are very strong root and they are very short. So that's why it is not easily eaten by the animals. Wind dispersal of the seeds, example lush perennial grasses, few scattered trees. Okay. Okay, now the next topic is adaptation for the ingestion of food in plants. Okay, so there are such type of different there are also such type of plants which are not considered as the autotrophic, as we all know that the plant is basically known as the plant is autotrophic, but there are also some few plants which are known as the parasitic. Now, what is parasitic term is like parasites are those organism which is totally dependent on the other organism for their nutrition. Okay, in by their body only. It doesn't mean that the body will die, the like that living organism in which specific organism live, that living organism will die. For example, some bacteria also lies in our body. They are parasitic, they takes nutrition from our body, but it doesn't like that we will die without due to that bacteria or something. Okay, so that is called parasitic. Saprophytic is different thing. Saprophytic is also dependent on other organism, but dead and decaying organism. But parasitic always lives in a living organism body. Now, the example for the parasitic plants are the other cascuta. Why it is considered as a parasitic? Because this is which is leafless and thus can't perform photosynthesis. These the cascuta is leafless. But what happened when the insects are sit on these plants? They usually trap that insects in it, and they take that trap that insects for their nutrition. So that's why it is called the example for this type of plant is cascuta or dodder. It is known as there are hostorial roots for sucking and absorbing nutrients from host plant. It grows on the host plant. Now there's also such type of plant which climbs on the long tree. I have shown you one example. If you remember in like in a forest region, there are such type of plants also which climbs on the long trees for their nutrition. Okay, for the nutrition and for the sunlight. So that type of roots are known as hosterial roots. What they develops hosterial roots from their plant, climbing plant. They develops hosterial roots to bind with the trees. That is called hosterial roots for sucking and absorbing the nutrients from the host plant. It grows on the host plant. Okay, third point I have given you here, the fungi. Fungi cannot perform photosynthesis as they lack chlorophyll. We already studied about this in a class 6 that fungi are not green in color because they don't have chlorophyll and they do obtain food from the starchy foodstuffs. Root like fibers are present in them for absorption of food. What they do actually do, fungi like it usually sit on the fibrous roots for their nutrients. Plants like Drosera, sundew, Venus flytrap, pitcher plant consumes insects to fulfill their need for nitrogen. The plants in nitrogen deficient are usually insectivorous plants. Okay, such plants have a structural adaptation to attract insects and hold them captive. Okay, sorry, what I discussed in the point number two, that some plants are parasitic. The other Cascuta leafless and thus can't perform photosynthesis. So it depends upon another plant. I was talking about the insectivorous plant right now. Insectivorous plants, what they are, insectivorous plants do? Insectivorous plants have a very attractive flowers on it. What they do when the insects sit on that flower, they easily trap that flowers. Okay, and they use them as a their nutrients. Parasitic plants are also the same, but it depends upon a living or you can say like this that they it's like a fungi also. And fungi also they lives on the living organism, living plants. Okay, like fungi always sit on the root like fibrous root के ऊपर ये बैठते हैं fungi, but parasitic can sit anywhere on the plant parts also. I'm very sorry, I was wrong here. In parasitic plant, I explained you about the insectivorous plant, but parasitic plants are those plants like they usually found on the layer of the plant, on the living plants. Like I will show you the picture about this. Okay, so plants like Drosera, Venus flytrap, these all are known as the insectivorous plant because what happens, insects usually sit on this plant and the flowers usually trap those insects for their nutrients. Such plants have a structural adaptation to attract insects and hold them captive. They have a fluid jelly on their flower petals so that the insects stick to that petals and they can easily trap those insects. Okay, so look at the picture, that is Dodder cascuta. Like in this way, they are like scattered on the living plants. So this is the example of parasitic. Why this is known as parasitic? Because they are scattered on the very living plants. Okay, and the plants are not dead, they are living plants, but they are scattered on the living plants. Now this is the Hosteria. Hosteria, but I have already discussed about this, that if there's any climbers or creepers, they take a support of the big plant, so they develops a root to attach with that parent plant, and that is known as Hosteria, Hosterial roots. Third image you will see the image of Drosera carnivorous plant. And this is insectivorous plant is also known as carnivorous plant. Okay, so you can see how their image is. It's like a net. Like when the insects sit on this, it will be easily trap in this net like structure. And they what they will do, they will kill that insect and they will take the nutrients from the insect. And the other plant is always scattered on the living plants. So this that's why it is known as the parasitic plants. So these all are adaptation. All we discussed: aquatic plants, snowy resin plants, ingestion plant, and different types of adaptation we studied. Now we are going to study about the adaptation in animals. And adaptation is something, okay, so first of all, just recap what is adaptation. And adaptation is something about an animal that makes it possible for it to live in a particular place and a particular way. So what plants are doing, they are adapting, they are growing such type of roots which they make them survive to live in the given area. Okay, so same adaptation is done by the animals also. Animals also have to develop something to survive in a particular area. It may be a physical adaptation like the size or the shape of the animal's body or the way in which its body works, or it may be the way the animal behaves. Okay, as the environment changes, animals that cannot adapt die out, and only the adapted ones survive to produce babies, because babies are usually more or less like their parents. The whole species soon contains only the animals that are adapted to the new environment. Actually, what happens, like if those animals who are not able to adapt the changing, they died, and who learn how to adapt, how to adapt in the given environment. Some those animals, if give their babies, they can only survive in that environment. Okay, an animal's environment consists of many different things. The climate is important, whether it is hot, cold, dry, or wet, will have an effect on all the creatures that live in a particular place. We will learn about this, that in different types of climate, different types of adaptation are done by the animals to survive in the given temperature. Another important part of an animal's environment is what kinds of food plant grow in it. Okay, we discussed that in grassland area, the big animals, long tall grasses, in big animals hide. In short grasses, small animals hide. Other animals that live there also have an effect. If there are predators around, the prey animals will have to learn to defend themselves or run to fast escape. Yes, like flies have a very wings, so that they can easily fly easily. If they have heavy wings, so they are not able to easily fly, and we can easily trap them, right? These adaptation make it possible for a great variety of creatures to live the thrive on earth. Animals adapt to the natural world. Yes, these adaptation help them to survive. Animals in the wild can only live in a places they are adapted to. They must have the right kind of habitat where they can find the food and space they need. Okay, so why they try to like survive or have the right kind of where they can survive. They can survive only when there is a right kind of habitat. Habitat means like the environment suitable to them, and where they can find the food also, and they can space as per their need. So we will one by one we will discuss about all the adaptation done by the animals in our next class. Till the time, what you are going to do, you are keep revising all the points given in the adaptation through the plant, okay, and make up very specific notes in your copy. We will meet in a second class. Till we will meet in the next class. Till the time, take care and bye bye.